the first Financial Advisor Reacts. My name is Paul Bradley. I'm joined by Kelly Sampson, and we are reacting to an amazing song. I'm so excited for this. This is Ren Money Game Part 3. I mean, what a place to pause. So that, I think that the whole thing is one shot, beautifully filmed. It's just a showcase of his skills. I would love to be able to play the piano. I can't. Obviously he can, but the pan out, and then all of a sudden you see this beautiful piano, and you also see, like, not only has he been playing, you know, with precision and soul, he's got a bag on his head.
Yeah.
And we're 35 seconds in. I mean, most music these days, like the whole song is 3 minutes. It's 35 seconds in. All we've had so far is a bit of skill and a bit of mystery. Let's see where we go next. I just love the drama of it. So we're almost 2 minutes in. We've just seen the reveal. Like, there is Ren. There's the bag on the head, and he's taken the bag off the head, and you know, what does that mean? And then his voice. You just don't. I think his voice is beautiful.
It's incredible and really surprising. I
So
didn't expect his voice to sound like that.
yeah, he's got quite a sharp look. You know, I think he grew up in Wales, but yeah, his voice is just beautiful.
I didn't expect him to look like that, and I didn't expect him to sound like that. So when he revealed his face, I was quite taken back. I was quite surprised by the person underneath the hood.
Yeah, I mean the drama and the performance, it's unbelievable.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student #1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents pay for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14.
Fast. So he's straight away he's up to age 14. But I think the reason why I thought it was good to have a financial advice perspective to this is it's a money story. And straight away, there's a very powerful money script there. It's all coming from his dad. I like the menacing voice that he uses, and it's like, listen here, son. Money is the means to all ends.
At such an early age as well. You know,
Early
kind of.
age.
Yeah, it felt, you know, it was almost, you know, he revealed his mask, he started to talk about his childhood, and it just felt really like, wow, it's already started. It's so important at such a young age. And yeah, his voice, yeah.
So fast, so it's like 1, 2, 3. That's the cadence. That's how fast we're going through his life.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a couple of interesting bits. So I think there's a whole piece of research by Dr. Bradley Clontz and his father, like Dr. Ted Clontz, and they talk about money scripts. So it's like the things that we hear when we're young, and like, you know, money is the root of all evil. Well, guess what? That makes us want to avoid money. Money makes the world go round. You know, money is the root of all ends. Like, that's like money worship. You're kind of more driven towards money. But they came up with these like 4 different categories that these scripts fall into, and you know, what you listen to. I think the research from Cambridge suggested that your money behaviours are largely formed at age 6. So it's all these things that you hear. The message in this. Well, we're getting the narrative. It's crystal clear.
Do you know, Paul, it's just taken me back to my childhood straight away around, you know, really early on. It was around, you know, getting your first job, go and do this, you know, if you want to do these lovely things, you know, money's going to help you do that. And it felt, yeah, it hit me straight away when he sort of at 14 had already started thinking like that.
Yeah, 14. And then, but the build up, everything goes with it. It's a performance, you know, so all the music is all the way he moves. Let's keep going. I'll just move it back just a little.
8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can.
And I think the financial perspective at this, though, you know, so he's built his business. His business does cybersecurity, and then I mean, it's all cleverly put together. You know how he spells it all out, but like I think he's got some venture capital funding there. You know, so he's kept some of his business, he's cashed out some of it. So I guess for the Ren fan, the casual listener watching this, like, they just probably don't realise that's how it works. You know, if you built your business, you're seeking outside funding, you can get it. You can sell your business, you can get outside funding in the venture capital space. That's typically the way you roll over a share, it carries on. But he's 18, he's practically a millionaire. But then his dad, I mean, the first messaging was, you know, money is the root, money is the answer. And now now it's much, much darker. Like, take what you can. And I love how he's like turning to the camera, and the gruffness in his voice. It's like menacing.
Yeah, it's the whole, you're talking about the theatre, it's the darkness of the room, it's the way that the light comes on his face, it's the tone of his voice, it's the pace in which it's that constant urgency and almost, you know, running through the childhood. You know, it's like you just need to get to be a man already. It just felt, quite rushed.
We had almost 2 minutes intro where he didn't say anything, and now, like, in 1 minute 23, we've gone from, like, literally year by year, from age 0 to 18.
He's now an adult.
Yeah, he's now an adult. He's sold his business, and now, as a millionaire, his dad's saying, "Take everything you can."
Yeah, really quite. Yeah, really. Wow.
Here we go.
Don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won.
Yeah, super dark. Yeah, so he's I think that there's a few things in there. I think where he says, when you manipulate the data, the lie will tell itself. So he's obviously like his morals have been compromised. But I quite like he's like, yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's almost like from 19 to 25, he's gone from, make your first million, become a millionaire, and suddenly it's got dark really, really quickly. He's now got drug abuse, he's now manipulating things, he's now lying to deliver the thing that he's delivering, and it's just in 6 years.
Yeah. I almost like this, like, he in the performance, he has like a silly voice when he's talking about crystal and cocaine. Almost like that's what, look at you, like, whoop-de-doo,
It's almost like you've achieved it because you're doing those things.
Yeah, but through his voice is almost like making fun of that absurdity. But anyways, it's still going very fast. Let's keep going.
A life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race, you're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it, blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket.
What an escalation.
In 9 years, wasn't it? 25 to 34. We've gone from...
Yeah, he's gone from entrepreneur to, someone who's in the president's suite to like gangster number one. It's like Breaking Bad time then.
Yeah. And the images that you're seeing around there, the smoke coming across the room, there's more people now in the room. It just feels really, really tense and something's about to go really horribly wrong. Really, and the pitch in which he's now sort of slowing it down slightly is deeper in tone. It feels really real now. It feels like something's about to happen.
He's turned into Pablo Escobar, and I think that the dad influence. I mean, obviously the whole thing he's trying to show he's good enough to his dad.
Yeah. Constantly need to do this to show dad what I can do, and that was from those early years before you whilst he was even in school. You need to be doing this, you need to be doing this, son.
Yeah, you need to be a man. Yeah, but he's now turned into Pablo Escobar, and then the bit at the end, it took me a few times listening to this. So blind eye in the paw in his pocket. So I think, as in his now like gangster role, he's paying off the police, and then he starts a turf war that goes wrong, and then I think the one who actually shoots him and blinds him in one of his eyes is the policeman he was paying off. So it's all escalated. It's gone ridiculously dark. Well, that's what I mean. So we had 2 minutes of intro, and now in 2 minutes 20 is basically told like an epic film story about the rise and now fall of a massive gangster, like the same scale as like a Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, indeed, in a couple of minutes.
In a couple of minutes, yeah. So, but then there's lots still to go. So let's see where he goes next.
Powder and guns, 34, turf war with nobody to stop it, blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. 35. He gets the call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
Dark chapter. Dark chapter. So I think what we saw then is that the approval he wanted from his dad, he's never going to get it because his dad's gone. But then,
and it continues.
Well, then rather than deal with it, rather than deal with, all right, you know, like make sense of his relationship with his dad and reconcile it, I think he's just masking the pain. You know, so what does he do? Well, you know, like the prostitutes, heroin. He started a turf war. Yeah, drinking. You imagine like 10 years ago, he was probably 10 times as sharp. Now he's sloppy, and now he's in a wheelchair.
30s.
Yeah, just in his 30s, and now he's in a wheelchair. But for the performance and for the story, like it's just so powerful when you see him like slump into an actual wheelchair, and that's what he's become of himself. And this was, you know, so the story of Jimmy. You know, he started out, you know, he's tons of potential. Like, you know, he's a genius. His first words, man, gimme. You know, so there's a bit of danger there. But look at where he is. He's blind in one eye. He's in a wheelchair. He's in his 30s. You know, but what's he got? He's got
a world ahead of him.
Yeah, he's got. But what's he got? He's got his money. That's what he's got.
That's all he's got at the moment.
Let's see where he goes.
Be walking again. Fuck.
It's still all just one shot. It's crazy.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Call the music.
So nice musically.
It's really it's almost hard to listen to the words when something's so beautiful happening in the background. It makes it becomes really feels quite emotive. You're listening to this really dark, really sad story and this beautiful song behind it, and it's almost trying to mask what's happening.
Totally. Well, I love that bit musically, and I think there's a bit where it says, you know, put your hand in the cookie jar, take more than you need. I think, like I posted some other stuff from Ren on LinkedIn, just saying, you know, I think he's brilliant, and I got a response saying, well, you know, he's a bit like Gary's Economics. Well, I think he's nothing at all like Gary's Economics, truthfully. I think he's a storyteller, and he's telling a story, and the story is a money story, and there's some really interesting stuff at the end. Mm. But the danger's about greed, you know. So it's not talking about, you know, the systemic problems and we need a wealth tax or anything like that. I think it's just a personal story, and it maybe exaggerated personal story, but it's our life, and what can you learn from that life? And he's got some interesting views coming up now, actually. So we just had this beautiful section, and you've got the tragedy of the life and the potential that was, and he's now, you know, he's now in a wheelchair. He's got all this money, but what's the point? You know, I think he's realizing that actually he was chasing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
but he's still, he's still in a wheelchair. So I think we get some of Ren's thoughts now.
Version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck for money and fame. Call the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution?
He's so good at just adding the tension. I mean,
Yeah.
so it builds it up. He's talking about I like the argument that money is just an idea. It is. We could have arranged our society in lots of different ways. I think this is just, it's the prevailing idea. I mean, we should chat and break this up a little when he kind of gives you his reveal. But like, my solution, pause, and then he takes his jacket off, and then the gun just brings like a massive weightiness to it all. But then it'd be good to just like pull apart his idea. And I've got a bit of a confession as we do it. Here we go.
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface then consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
So that's his big idea. We'll finish the story off in a second, the song. But it's basically, he's talking about how we organise ourselves as a society. Money is an idea. Borders and how we organise ourselves is also an idea. So I think he's challenging humanity to come up with a better idea. And conceptually, truthfully, I love all of that. Like, my dad was like a super lefty. Like, my middle name is Leon, like after Leon Trotsky. Yeah, I work like in financial management as a wealth manager. Like, I don't think that money is inherently bad, but there's some really interesting. There's a study from Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow, and what they did was they viewed participants, and the participants went to these chairs and saw the topic of conversation, and then were asked to arrange the chairs, and they were observed doing that. When the topic of conversation was money, the chairs got moved apart. I think in its essence, and when he talks about taking more than you need from the cookie jar, there is a selfishness to money. But I guess the counter argument is, well, money, if we become more productive as a society, then there's more to go around. But I guess that if you're just trying to take for yourself, then that's the danger. But like, my dad's a lefty, my brother's a lefty, but I guess my concern in that, and this again comes from the Clance brothers, like they were saying, like, systemic change is just too big. Like I like a lot of what Rennie's talking about, but there's 8 billion people in the world. Are we really going to try and change society so we work on a different metric? Like, we're not using money anymore. We've abandoned that idea. We've got something else. It's just too bold an ambition. So I guess the danger is, if you tell yourself, oh, money's bad, we need a different idea. It's a bit like, money's the root of all evil, and then the next thing you know, subconsciously, you're doing yourself a disservice. But that idea is super deep.
Yeah, it's quite hard hitting. And if society didn't have money, we'd just choose something else. We would replace it with something else.
I think it's probably one of those, like they say, there's no perfect fee model in financial advice. If we didn't have money, will, like, whatever we come up with, it will still have problems.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there's
and
no
and
perfect
people always
system.
people always want more. There's always this aspiration to have more because it does more, and however you get it, it's they do that. It's amazing to watch, but it's really hard to watch as well, Paul, because you recognise it so much in society.
Oh, like he's hitting truth bombs, and this is the third. So there's one and two before this, but let's finish the story, because the story, it's got like a powerful ending as well.
Okay.
So again, one take. We've got all the
45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Whoa.
strong ending.
Yeah, and it goes black.
Yeah, hard hitting. I think, but again, I think rather than Gary's economics, I don't think he's specifically campaigning to, reduce the equality gap or tax the wealthy or anything like that. I think he's just highlighting, look, we've arranged our society on this thing called money, but look at what it leads us to do. It leads us to lie. It leads us to cheat. It leads us, in extreme cases, to kill each other. Like, obviously, that's not good. Like, can we come up with something better? I think it's a beautiful idea, but I guess again, the danger is, I think the people who want the system changed more, like, are the poor, But the poor, if rooting for systemic change is just too big. I think the poor, like, it's actually better to learn your own financial psychology, understand what you've been telling yourself, get the basics in place, and just play the game rather than try and change the system. Just change the system. It just seems. It's a beautiful goal, but it's just too lofty.
Yeah, I just the thing that just from all of this just keeps hitting me. It's the story was really powerful, but it's just that beginning of it. I can't kind of move past that. Those first 11 years for that guy, and the kind of responsibility we have to our younger generation in terms of how we educate them, not just around what money can do, but what it is, what money can do, and actually it's not about having more, it's about what it can do. And I think a lot of our, I kind of reflect on sort of things in like, education in schools and stuff. How do we help people have a better, a better kind of mindset around money? What understanding, the good and bad of it and what it can do, and in those early years, not putting too much pressure on, if it's not money, it's Instagram and it's other things. It's this constant pressure on people needing to be a certain way. And we're allowing that to happen right now. It's a really hard hitting thing to watch, Paul, and listen to. It's beautifully, the music in the background, the theatre of the piece. But the story is really quite sad. Wow.
Yeah. It's super tragic, and I love the beginning part too. I mean, like when you, like, I must have watched it 100 times at this stage. But when you watch the beginning bit, I love how, as the child is progressing, like the music builds up with it. So and almost from age 1 to 17, it's almost a thing that everyone wants. So you've got unusual grades, you've got talent. It's being nurtured with private school. And then you've got the successful entrepreneurship and exit before age 18. Like, I think for most people, like, that would just be a straight up vision of success. But I guess, you see how the story unfolds. But I think the question, what is a successful life actually? When you hear a story like that, it's a helpful thing to challenge. It's not, you know, because clearly that life is not a successful life, and all the time he's being egged on. You know, even when he's in, I thought one of the cleverest lines is like when he's in the presidential office, and he was saying, you're a servant, you're not even second.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's
yeah.
he's like belittling where he is. You know, which fuels him to go harder and further
And do more. Yeah,
and
yeah.
do more. But it's all for the pursuit of more, because it's, you know, listen here, son. Like the world doesn't give a damn. You have to take everything you can. Like that's like probably the most menacing instruction from his father, and that
Probably
just
his father as well. Yeah, the one person that should never be saying that to you is the one person that's constantly pushing him, saying it's not enough, it's not enough, it's not enough. You know, do whatever you take whatever you can, however you do that, and then it's led to that you know, demise of a young guy in his 40s. You know, such a short life with such opportunity. Cut short because there's this constant, I'm going to say his dad feels like a demon on his shoulder constantly, like that voice around, you need to do it, you need to do it, you need to do it. It's, yeah, wow. It's, yeah, and I think pressure on, you know, if it wasn't money, it would be something else. The pressure in which we put on people at, you know, they're kind of, they're most vulnerable in their life, you know, those earlier years, in their teenage years. And how it shapes people's actions as they get older. I think that's, you know, money is an example there, but that is in so many different things in society.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, listen, really, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope anyone watching.
I'm gonna watch some more, Paul. Is what I'm gonna do. I need to watch it again, and I'm gonna listen to some other his part 1 and 2, I think, and see the stories. So yeah, thank you for sharing. It was really interesting.
Three's the best. Two's got a genius bit about seashells, which you'll find. I mean, it's all good. Like, I think he's a genius. I honestly do. But anyway, thank you for joining.
Incredible. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
See you later. Thanks so much, Paul. Cheers. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.